Hey guys, this is Brian here from the Southern Islands, and I am so excited for this video. We actually managed to get ourselves a box of the Fabled release, the Chapter 9 release of Disney Lorcana, and here we are unboxing it. This is, I think, the first Disney Lorcana box that I'm opening, so I'm super stoked to see what we get. There's so many reprints here. But, for a new player like myself, I am super keen to see what we can get. Just looking at the three different pack arts here, we have the Goofy movie, we have the Cruella de Vil, as well as the old school Mickey. Three cards, which I'm actually personally looking forward to pulling, especially if I get the Enchanted. Mickey, I think that's not a bad card to look at. So forgive me if I'm taking a slower look at some of these cards. These cards are still kind of unfamiliar to me to a certain extent, but I am so happy. We look at this Genie here. We do see Genie off the lamp. Very, very, very strong, very strong card. We also have the Under the Sea there. Very, very powerful action. Allows you to bounce bounce your opponent's entire board, basically, which has 2 willpower or less. Very, very strong card. Kind of the only soft board clear we have in the game. There, I did a little bit of a pause. We do see a few playable cards. We do see the Robin Hood. We do see the Elsa, but we also see the Circle of Life. Because this Circle of Life is very, 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 very strong. Allows you to revive, quote unquote, revive one of the cards from your discard onto the field. This includes cards which cost more than 8 as well. And we also did see me pull a Hades. Hades Infernal Schemer is one of my favorite cards coming up in the set. I play Blurple, as you would have known if you've seen one of our old videos. If you haven't seen that video, do catch that out. We also have the Ursula there that just popped out, the Epic Ursula. I have to say the gloss on the Epic cards look absolutely phenomenal in person. I really hope you guys get to pull it. It feels as if you do get 1 or 2 epics per box. So if you are planning a box break, I think that's going to be pretty good. We do see myself pull the Aurora as well as the Nala. This Nala here, very strong. Actually, both cards are very strong for Amber Steel variants. Whether or not you want to play the aggressive variant or kind of just like a mid-range variant, both cards will definitely come in handy. Will definitely allow you to get your cards like your Tiana out, 1 ink earlier. So kind of like this self-acceleration. We do see me pause there as well. Managed to pick up the Ruby Ariel. Allows you to give one of your own characters evasive if you play an action that turn. I think a pretty one-off card, maybe a 2-off card in a Ruby Emerald deck. Speaking of an Emerald deck, we do also manage to pull ourselves a Max Goof. It's going to be definitely pivotal inside that Ruby Emerald variant. Allows you to kind of recycle some of the songs that cost 3 or less from your discard pile to your hand if you pay an extra ink. Sudden Chill, a very divisive card. Allows you to discard one of your cards from your opponent's hand. Be King Undisputed as well as Mother Knows Best. These 2 cards are going to be very pivotal in the specific deck of Ruby Emerald. The cards by themselves are very, very, very strong. Be King Undisputed is one of the cheaper single target banish options. Yes, your opponent gets to choose it, but it only costs 4 ink, and it is a song as well. Speaking of board clear, the mob song are a pretty good song there to do 3 damage, I think, to 3 different characters. We also see that bell that we just pulled as well. Allows you to shift 3 damage from one of your characters, from chosen character to another of your opponent's chosen character. Fire the cannons, more damage removal. These cards are going to be pivotal in terms of moving damage around to ensure that you have efficient board clears against your opponent. We just have that Roxanne there as well. I think a pretty decent card in Ruby Singer decks, which we'll definitely see more of, I think, moving forward from Fabled. This is Lawrence. Lawrence, I think, is a card, but wait, look at that. It is the one, the only Hades Enchanted. Forgive me if I'm shaking quite a bit. Look, Hades Enchanted is the one pool which I was really hoping to get. Hades is one of my favorite characters, and it's one of the most playable cards in a Blurple deck. And seeing the Hades come out there, and then you like I've so many different people that Hades is my chase, and being able to pull that from the first box we get as well, it's such an absolute high. You know, freaking out there a little bit. You know, I have to forgive the handshakes. It was definitely an epic moment for that box pull. But as you can see here, you know, as we keep on going through the pack, you notice that there are actually a number of quite a few playable cards, which I'm personally excited for get coming into Fable. You know, especially like stuff like this, John Silver as well as Heavy Medallion, both cards which are going to be pretty good in Pirate deck as well as a Mulan deck specifically. So yeah, look, taking another look at the Hades, you know, I'm still in absolute shock being able to pull the one chase card I was looking for. You know, I think a lot of people were looking for the iconic, but Hades is truly my personal chase. By the way, the enchants look absolutely gorgeous here. You have that golden embossing as well, which looks so good. Yep, more playable cards I think, which is going to be pretty decent. Blurple, you know, the one cost Rafiki going to be pretty useful, I think, in getting clearing some of the aggro cards, which some of the aggro decks rather in the early turns, like that Ember Steel deck, which I was mentioning earlier. We do see some Idle Eyes, and we do see the second epic of the box, it being the Alice Accidentally Adrift. You know, this is one of the new cards. There are quite a few variants of it. I think coming out, but the epic variant does have that nice gloss finish, as mentioned. It's kind of like the legendary treatment on like regular cards, which I'm personally a pretty big fan of. If you remove that gloss layer, though, you know, it's kind of average, but I think the gloss layer adds such a nice finish. And for y'all who don't know, Bruno Madrigal is kind of like that secret card that, you know, the devs didn't release, didn't announce, right, through all the different card releases which they did with the different content creators. And you know, when people were opening it, they were like, "Hey, wait, Bruno's in here? That's kind of crazy, right?" And the fun fact is that he is 0 out of 204, which, you know, I think it's a nice little touch. I have heard that Lorcana does this. You know, every set they have kind of like a little bit of a Easter egg, so to say. You know, previously in the Reign of Jafar, they had Huey, Louis, as well as Dewey in kind of like a connecting art, as well as with the crocodiles as well. So nice to see that keeping that up, even in Fable. As we go on, yep, Smash being pulled, One Last Hope being pulled as well. All very strong cards. Smash 3 cost, Inkable, and you're able to deal 3 damage to anything on the board. Very good kind of removal tool. It does, quote unquote, seem a little bit expensive to use, but I think being able to choose when to you know, when to put the 3 damage counters on, when to inflict the 3 damage is very strong. So I think the 3 cost is definitely worth it in that case. So we keep going through the box. We do pull a Pirate's Life. Gonna be very strong card. I think was very played in the previous few sets. And of course, we do pull that Ursula. The new Ursula, you know, have this 3/4, allows you to exert one of your opponent's characters, and you can actually play a song that is of the same cost as that character or less for free. You know, once you do that. So, you know, just off the top of my head, a very basic combo is going to be that Ursula with with it Into the Unknown, super sick. Of course, we do put a Scar as well. I think, yeah, based off some of the other box picks I've seen, Scar is not as common as some of the other legendaries. So nice to see that in my box I managed to pull that as well. I think it's gonna be pretty decent in a few you know, maybe like Sapphire Steel decks. Or yeah, actually, just in general, very good draw. And of course, the last legendary I'm pulling is this Elsa Spirit of Winter. Super strong. Was not played too much, I think, in the previous formats, standard constructor formats. But you know, in the list that I'm currently rocking for Blurple, it has this Elsa. So nice to see it being pulled from the box. So one less Elsa for me to find. Yeah, and I do really. Well, something else I do want to mention is that kind of finish that it's done with the legendary symbol. It looks really nice. It makes the card feel a little bit more premium as well. So very nice touch. I think that Lorcana Ravensburger has done, RB has done with Fable. You know, the changing of the symbols. I think it's a very nice touch. And last pack magic, maybe. Yes, we're gonna open this a little bit slowly. We're gonna have Max Goob and Mickey Mouse, Tinkerbell, a Jasmine, a M Stuck, Judy Hopps, Queen of Hearts, Roxanne, Jasmine, the new Jasmine, which is pretty nice to see. Mama Odie and a Magical. Unfortunately, didn't manage to pull anything else, but I think this, watching other box breaks, I think this was a pretty good box. We managed to get ourselves an Enchanted in the Hades Infernal Schemer. We also managed to get ourselves the Ursula as well as the Alice. So all in all, you know, I'm, like I mentioned, and you've probably heard me say this 1,000 times, very happy with this box. And you know, just for a fun fact, we're gonna see how fast I can do fix up this puzzle here of Powerline, of the Powerline Enchanted. So guys, yeah, just enjoy the piecing together. Enjoy the puzzle piecing, and I will catch you at a Singapore local event soon. And do remember to like, subscribe, as well as check out some of the other videos that we do on the Southern Islands. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.